Law 94-142, EAHCA. This law ensures a free, appropriate public education to all children with disabilities between the ages of 3 and 21. Something else I was talking to that same parent about was the fact that technically the county you live in, when you turn 3 years old, you can then be serviced. You're property of that county, and you can be serviced as early as 3 years, even though you're not in public school already. I was fortunate enough to know this. Daniel had a speech impediment when he was little. He had a lot of ear infections, and he couldn't hear well, and that caused his speech to be delayed. And so I took him. He just had turned 3, and I took him on to the speech pathologist here in Hamlin County, because I knew that he could get serviced by the county that we live in at age 3. So I took him, they tested him, come to find out it just happened to be the letters he could not pronounce were the ones most frequently used in our language. So it sounded much worse than what it really was. So he didn't qualify, but they gave us some recommendations on what to do to get his speech fixed, and it has been. Lord knows he can speak very well now. So from ages 3 to 21, the county can, if there's a service available, then the service is available for your child or neighbor's child, anybody that you know. My thinking with Dana was I wanted to get him started early so that we could correct his speech issue before he went to kindergarten, because in kindergarten he would miss half the day in speech while the regular classroom was continuing on, so that would put him already behind. So I wanted to have that fixed before he started. The law is very specific in describing the kind and quality of education, and in stating that each child with a disability is to have an individually planned education. So that IEP, a very abbreviated IEP type, comes into play there. We plan out a plan of action with the parents, and making sure that we all know what this child needs and what's best for this child. Individualized education plan formulated by the general and special education teachers and subject to the parents' approval. That's when we all come together. I'm sure you're getting this in Miss Mandracia's class, but there should be a meeting. I actually had 2 meetings a year that I called. One in the first of the year, just to tell the parents this is what I'm expecting. At the end of the year, my students that went from 5th grade to 6th grade, I usually went over and met in their IEP meeting over there, just to say this is what I found they can do. If you push them here, here's some weak areas, and we could share that information. So hopefully the next year's teacher could build off of that. So, and at the same time, I'm meeting my 4th graders who would be coming into my classroom. I would be meeting with their parents and with their teacher and so on. So when that bridge of communication, because you might find in your classroom the child does very well, and if they're sitting at the front of the room, or they do very well if you abbreviate some of the assignments, those kinds of things, and that should be a shared. The main thing is we want the child to have success. So this public law 94-142 really started setting the platform for students with disabilities to have an equal educational opportunity.